6 ways to make Man United great again. Jose Mourinho's first season in charge at Man United was a weird one. Amongst the media-aimed moaning, the double yellow bus parking and the hotel room living, he somehow brought a 25-game unbeaten streak, a weird alternative treble, and Champions League football. Not to mention a full-blown commitment to staying in 6th place meme land. Next season needs to be better though. And here are 6 things Jose Mourinho needs to implement to get the Red Devils seriously challenging for first-rate trophies next year. Not just a trio of prime Arnie knockoffs. Firstly, United need to secure a new number 9, a player to score goals. And ideally, that player is a lad called Cristiano Ronaldo. After a sensational debut Premier League season, Zlatan is now doing laps with a floating noodle in a swimming pool, and not bicycle-kicking goals from the halfway line. Whatever you think of his influence on the way United played football last year, he scored a hell of a lot of goals and stuck a big, talented Swedish finger up to all of his doubters. And coincidentally, with United in need of a brooding, talismanic centre-forward to replace him, a certain man with goals and muscles to spare has made himself available. Ronaldo has received charges of criminal tax avoidance to the amount of £12.4 million. And in response has announced that he has the hump with the country of Spain, whilst his lovely agent Jorge Mendes prowls around the European elite to see who's going to give him the most wedge. United should do everything they can to ensure that the club he chooses is them, even if that means a couple of £100 million and David De Gea. Ronaldo will get the theatre of dreams rocking again, and the chance to see him back in the Prem is surely too lucrative financially and emotionally to miss out on. Get him back to rainy Tuesday nights in Manchester and knuckleball free kicks at Brighton. Jose, get him back. Forget the little quarrels you had over in Madrid. What goes on in Madrid stays in Madrid. And if you can't rebuild those bridges, have a little look over to Serie A, where Andrea Bellotti spent this season banging goals in for Torino, or at Nikolai Jorgensen, who was doing the same in Eredivisie for the champions Feyenoord. Then, United need to sort out the destiny of their all-time top goalscorer, Wayne Rooney. Wazza has been a peripheral figure over the last few seasons, gradually being moved back from his natural striker's position to a sort of sluggish, ball-playing central midfielder, and then all the way back to the bench. He's been an incredibly loyal asset since his iconic hat-trick debut against Fenerbahce in the Champions League, and will be allowed to leave in whatever way he pleases. His presence on the edges of the first team has been a weighty shadow at Old Trafford, ever since Louis van Gaal's paint-dry football almost bored him all the way to another hair transplant, and a nice, safe move back to Everton would be the best for Rooney. No one wants to see him attempting to order a chow mein in Shanghai, but we'd all love to see him back in the blue half of Liverpool. His move would free up space on the bench, and also space in the minds of the United players and faithful. It's time to move on. Thirdly, Jose Mourinho, a football manager of football teams, must stop crying about his football teams having to play games of football. Look, Jose, we know how you mess with us, and you know we know how you mess with us. So let's just call it quits and admit that sometimes you will lose football matches, and it isn't always because you played a game 4 days ago. The whinging makes the players feel like morons, makes Jose look like a moron, and gives the opposition on the day even more motivation to do United over. Oh, Paul, Anthony, Eric, Daddy says you're still tired after playing Burnley last Friday is not something the United lads will want to be hearing next year. So suck it up and get used to the fact that your football team will have to play games of football during the football season. It will do us all a favour. Michael Carrick's new deal was probably the right thing to do. He had a very good season, but it's now time to pass the baton on to someone else. At 36, Carrick still keeps the game ticking, but his personal clock is ticking too. United need a new version. Maybe not a direct replacement, but more of an evolution. A more aggressive destroyer, someone like Fabinho from Monaco, would free up Pogba to collect the ball in places where he's more likely to cause creative damage to the opposition. His demolition of England's midfield and defence for France last week was lovely to watch for anyone who likes watching football, and that came alongside the best destroyer in the game, N'Golo Kante. If Fabinho stays at Monaco, United should look at getting Blaise Matuidi from PSG to come in and let Pogba make a mug of people like Gary Cahill more often. With Rashford, Lingard, Mkhitaryan and Martial all on the absolutely rapid side of rapid, United have a sensational little glut of talented pace merchants to work with, and now they need to be played consistently. None of United's attacking mids played over 2,000 minutes in the Premier League last season, and the season's 2 best attackers, Eden Hazard and Alexis Sanchez, both played over 3,000 minutes. Allow Fellaini, forget Wazza, and work out how to construct a fluid front line of attacking midfielders from the fast lads with someone up top to finish things off. Finally, It would be a massive help for United's points total in the Premier League if they started trying to beat the top 6 sides and not just avoid losing to them. Mourinho needs to take the handbrake off his big red bus and move its very capable wheels further up the pitch. United made Ajax look a bit stupid in the Europa League final by playing higher up the pitch, and with the signing of Lindelof adding to Bailly's pace, they should be able to do this without getting caught in behind. Those were the 6 ways Man United can become great again. How else can they improve? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.